It's time for Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab, your source for living your best gluten-free life. Today, Victoria talks to Liz Satkowski, owner and author of the Gluten Free Mom Colorado blog. A special shout out today to chef owner Jeff Giebot of Hesher Barbecue for providing delicious barbecued meats for today's pizza. And now here's your host, Victoria Wolf.
Thanks, Rich, and welcome to the show. We're so excited that you're here. Today, my guest is Liz Satkowski. I knew I was going to mess that up. AKA Gluten Free Mom, blogger extraordinaire, based here in Denver. Thank you so much for being here.
Gosh,
I'm so excited. We're going to have a great conversation.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
And we're going to eat pizza.
I can't wait to eat the pizza.
But first, we're going to talk a little bit about this amazing beer that we are drinking. This is our appetizer beer.
Perfect. I love appetizer beer.
Liz did not have a chance to try this beer yet. This is the Holiday Patchy Waters Pumpkin Ale. And so I'll let you tell everybody about your love for pumpkin spice. So that'll kind of lead up to why this is so important to try this beer.
I just posted about my love for pumpkin spice, really. I went to Trader Joe's and I got, they have pumpkin spice bagels, pumpkin spice, everything.
Toilet paper,
like if you air freshener.
Oh my God,
yeah. And so, I just love it so much. My husband's like, you're the most basic girl I've ever met in my life, which I'm not sorry.
I don't understand why they consider a love for pumpkin spice basic.
Yeah.
I think that's unfair.
Right?
I think that's a slight dig on women, actually, because most women, it seems like a female thing. I don't know. You don't see a lot of men posting about their love for pumpkin spice. No. So I don't know. I don't think it's fair. I don't like pumpkin spice, but I have a friend who was so proud to be basic because she loved pumpkin spice. But I think that's wrong. But it is interesting. Over the years, you saw one or two things. What about 6-7 years ago? And now you're right. You go to Trader Joe's now. It's
they have a section. Everywhere. It's like a whole.
Oh, I know.
I was like, this is crazy.
Everything you think. And now we have beer.
I know. Well, I was so excited about this beer when you guys said you had it because I've been searching everywhere at all the liquor stores. I can't find it.
You probably can call Holiday and they'll probably tell you where you can find it. And I think you can buy it at the tap room too.
Oh, well, I need to go.
Golden. Yeah, you got to go in. Have you been there?
No, we were going to go there the other day and then.
Yeah, definitely go and hang out.
I know.
I don't like pumpkin spice, but I really like this.
I think this is delicious.
I hate to admit it. I like it. So we met, what was it, 3 or 4 months ago? You came up to the kitchen.
A year.
Has it been a year already?
I've had my Instagram for almost a year.
And so we met a year ago.
You were one of the first people I talked to, yeah.
And you were just getting started, and I have just watched you flourish. So tell me about your journey. Well, first tell me why you are Gluten Free Mom.
So my son, my oldest Landon, has celiac disease. And actually my mom does, my whole family, we're basically one big gluten-free celiac family. But when he was 2 years old, he started having some rashes and some vomiting and some bowel issues and stuff. And so our journey was a little different than most people's because most people, celiac disease isn't even something that they think about. Mm-hmm. But with us, it was easy because my mom was like, you need to just go, get him tested. So took Landon, got him tested. Obviously, he had celiac disease. And fast forward, a year later, I was still eating gluten. And I kind of felt guilty because I would be eating something or go out to dinner and we'd pack Landon a little sandwich. And Landon was like, I need to stop doing this. So me and one of my best friends, Danielle, her and I decided let's just go gluten free together. And she wasn't feeling good, I wasn't feeling good, so we just completely went off gluten. And I just felt so much better. My inflammation went away, the foggy headedness went away. I wasn't as tired. My some skin acne issues. So I was obviously I have an issue with gluten. I don't have celiac disease.
You were tested?
I was tested when I was younger. Both my brothers and my mom have celiac disease, and me and my dad are the lucky ones who didn't get it.
Do you know if you have the gene and you just don't have active celiac?
I do have the gene and I just don't have the active celiac.
So you still could get it?
I could get it, yeah.
Okay, but right now...
Don't say that.
Okay. Well, okay, yes, that's true. But
I don't eat
so
it,
people understand that.
Yeah.
Just because you're not showing symptoms, well, actually you don't have it. You're not showing the atrophy and the damage in the villi and the intestine, but it can be triggered at any time if you have the gene. If you don't have the gene, then obviously you're never going to have celiac disease.
My mom, she had a brain aneurysm when I was little.
Oh my goodness!
And that's around.
Is that what triggered?
She's always had she remembers having hives when she was little, and just always having. She has a lot of food allergies. She can't have dairy, eggs, you name it. My mom can't eat it. So they're pretty sure like around that time is probably when my mom's celiac disease came out. Yeah. And Landon was a preemie. And so he's probably, I mean,
he got triggered early.
He got triggered, like, he was a 24-week preemie. So some of the doctors were, I mean, he's always had food issues, and people say some of the food issues come from, you know, the prematurity. I mean, nothing was able to develop correctly. So, but yeah, now we're gluten-free, and then my husband's not the only one who's not gluten-free in our house.
Is your house gluten-free?
My house is gluten-free. We
so
have beer.
He has to go out to get his gluten.
Yes. And like if we go out to eat, I let him eat gluten. And most of the time, actually, he's like if we go get pizza, like at McKinner's or something, he gets gluten. He's like, I'll just get gluten-free because he loves your crust.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, that was one of our goals when we started the company. It wasn't just about the gluten-free people. It was about the people who loved the gluten-free people, because most of the time, my experience before Rich and I got together in my previous relationship, there was a distinct separation. It's like I made their food and then I made my food.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that was, one, it was A, a lot of work, B, it was very isolating, and
totally.
it was frustrating. And I get it. I mean, the gluten-free stuff back then really was much worse than it is now, but still, it was tough. And we wanted to make food that was good enough that the entire family liked, so that the gluten-free person wasn't like, oh, I got my food, and then you've got your beautiful, amazing pizza that I can't eat, and you're just going to, taunt me with the entire meal. I can't tell you how many times I sat in a restaurant with friends or family where I had my crappy little gluten-free meal, and then I had to watch them eat. I've watched so many people eat in my time. It's been ridiculous.
Well, that's what I didn't want to do to Landon anymore. I was like, I'm so sad, like sitting here eating in front of him, and he's just like sitting here eating a gluten-free.
Yeah, and he's so young, he can't really wrap his head around why this. He probably only feels this is unfair and doesn't even understand why it's unfair. And it's got to be the hardest if you've never been able to eat gluten your entire life.
Totally.
You have nothing to look back on. One of the first shows we did when the Denver Celiacs was doing the gluten-free fairs. Our first show, a girl came up to me, and we were serving our baguettes as French toast, and she tried it, and she said to me, she said, I've been celiac since birth, and I've never had real French toast, but this is what I always imagined it would taste like.
Well, that's so good.
That was so sweet and so sad at the same time. It's like you have to, I don't know which is worth imagining because you never tried it, or longing for it because you can't have it anymore.
So you want to know what's so funny? So we had introduced gluten back into Landon's diet a few years ago because somebody told us to get him retested because we hadn't done we had done the blood test, but said
not the endoscopy. Yeah.
So we gave him gluten, and we let him we were like, let's do a gluten pizza, and he thought it was disgusting. Like, he was like, this is gross. Really? He wouldn't eat it. Yeah, it was crazy. And so it's just funny to me. We had to take dairy out of his diet because he just couldn't handle it for the longest time. And so we did like dairy-free mac and cheese and stuff. And when we did introduce cheese, like when we're putting cheese on his gluten-free pizza, he's like, this is gross. Like,
so he doesn't like cheese or
now he gluten. Does. Now he's grown to like it, but at first he wasn't.
So he can do dairy now?
He can do dairy now.
That's good, because dairy and gluten together are terrible.
I know.
That's
my poor mom, she can't do dairy, gluten, or eggs.
I think the eggs. If I couldn't do eggs, I would just eat, I don't know, cardboard.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do.
She's really creative. She's very creative, and she makes some amazing things, which is like really helpful. It's been very helpful to me as a mom. Just looking back at, like, if I ever have a question, I just like think like what would my mom have done in the situation, or I call her and I ask her like, what would you substitute? And now it's so easy because we have all the alternative milks and all the the cheeses even don't taste.
The eggs
got
to be hard though.
The eggs, yeah.
Because our products are full of eggs. I don't know what I would
Most
do.
are.
It's tough. I have we ran out our kitchen when we're not there to help out other gluten-free producers, real small ones.
Nice.
So we have a new one. It's Gina's Kitchen Delights, and she can't do eggs either, so she's making everything egg, dairy, and gluten-free.
Gina's Kitchen Delights.
Yeah, I'll have to find out. She starts tomorrow night, her first shift. I have to find out where she's selling and where you can buy it, because obviously that'd be something your mom would be interested in for sure. So
yeah.
So what made you decide to be a blogger?
You know what? I worked for a natural food store for years.
You can mention their name.
Natural Grocers.
Okay. We'll give them a little.
I don't usually say it. But I worked for Natural Grocers for a lot of years. And I worked as like in the grocery section, and then I moved over to the vitamin section. And while I worked there, people used to just ask, because people would come in, like that's where you just go to Natural Grocers when you find out that you
got questions, that's the store you go to. Yeah.
So they would always come in, and people would come grab me because they'd be like, this person just got diagnosed with celiac disease. And this was even before Landon. Landon was diagnosed the first year that I worked there. But I had grown up with it. And so people would come find me, and I'd go help them, shop with them. I mean, they're like, oh, I'm gluten-free. That means that I have to eat organic. I'm like, no. Or,
but no, you don't have to.
That's not what it means. Or, like, they also thought, like, everything in Vitamin Cottage was gluten-free.
It's non-GMO, but
not gluten-free. And so and I think a lot of people struggle with that. And so I spent years helping people. And even when I moved over to the vitamin section, like, people would come get me, and I'd go back over and kind of shop with people. And I think people need that help and that support. And
in the beginning, for sure, because it's a totally foreign world.
It's like terrifying. So I was kind of lonely too. Like, my husband owns his own company, and I do the books for that. But like, I sit at home with my kids, and Landon's at school, so he's 8 now. But Daisy is 1, and Finn is 3, almost 4. So our conversations are about Ninja Turtles and why Spider-Man. Like, right now, I'm shocked my curtains haven't fallen off the wall because he's hanging on them and swinging across them. Like, my husband is very good at putting curtains up.
So, obviously, one good stay too.
Right. So I just was kind of lonely and just needing an outlet where I just wanted to, give people some advice and like help them. And then I started posting just little here and there things. And then all of a sudden, like recently, I just can't believe how much I've grown. Like, I've been doing this for less than a year, and I have 2,500 followers, over 2,500 followers. Yeah.
On Instagram?
On Instagram, yes. And then currently I'm working on my website and just trying to, just recipes. People they're like, what do I cook? Like, you can cook so much.
Well, you have to know how to cook.
But you do.
That's our theory, is like your gluten-free journey, lifestyle, whatever, is how good it is determined by your cooking skills.
Totally.
And so if you don't cook very well, it's going to be very challenging. And so we try very hard to teach as much as we can cooking skills, and it's just going to make them for a better life and better food.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
And then finding recipes. And, there's a lot of people. I look at recipes. To me, they're a suggestion, kind of like speech excellence. So we suggest that you try 50 times.
I love that.
It's usually 25 or 30 over. But and recipes to me are a suggestion too. This is what we think goes really well together. And as you become a better cook, you can look at a recipe and immediately go, okay, well, I know I'm going to need more of this, or I'm going to substitute that.
Totally.
And when you get to that point as a cook, that's when things start getting interesting and food starts tasting better. And to me, that's always the goal. So the first time you got the recipes.
Totally.
And I always tell people when they ask about gluten-free recipes that they never go search for the gluten-free recipe. Search for the traditional.
And then
do your substitutions. Mm-hmm. And that's in the very, very beginning. Maybe you still got to go with the gluten-free recipe because you don't know enough about substitutions. But I've found some really gluten-free recipes. Like, I'm not doing that.
Well, that's one of the things is, like, I had tried to find cooking, like, is easy for me, and I know it's not easy for a lot of people, but my mom used to make me, like, cook twice a week from age 10 on. And I hated her for it, and I was like, you're the best mom ever, and I'm so thankful that she made me do it.
Yeah, now it's a good thing.
Yeah, now I'm so happy. My husband's happy. He's like, oh my gosh, you're such a good cook. So, but I would go and I'd try to find, like, turning something like meatloaf gluten-free. Like, people don't even think, like, you just automatically think you have to put breadcrumbs in it. You don't think, how do I make this gluten-free? And so,
how do I use a different as a reaction to the outdoor.
But no, it's been fun, and it's been quite an adventure. And I've done offer to people like you. And I have like this huge community now of gluten-free moms and friends. It totally is. Like I found what I was looking for. I have like a friend that I like send message. I feel like he's like the best person I've ever met in my life. So yeah, it's so great.
Well, that's wonderful. And so I'm going to get into the pizza maker so you can actually eat some pizza. So one of the premises of the show is I asked you, what is your favorite food? And you said barbecue. So what is it about barbecue you like so much?
Growing up, my dad actually owned a catering company. And I know, food is just like our life. So he actually, like, he makes the best barbecue. And it just became something, it's easy to make industry too. Like, you can, I mean.
Most barbecue.
Yeah, totally. And so, yeah. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's just so good. It's so flavorful. It reminds me of my childhood.
The only thing I have to worry about on the sides is the dairy. Are they putting sour cream into potato salad or coleslaw or something? That's about it. So I'm going to move over here and make this pizza. And we're going to get it in the oven and then it's going to cook and then we're going to I'm so excited. Okay, I'm grabbing my cup. Okay. So what we're starting with is we're really unconventional here. We don't like to do things normally. So we're not using a pizza sauce, we're using a barbecue sauce. And this is a scratch made, this is Rich's amazing barbecue sauce. And the recipe will be on the website when we post the podcast. So we're going to start with this. It's very flavorful. Rich, what would you compare this to? More like a Kansas City, very vinegary?
Yes.
Yes, he said yes. If you can't hear him, he's not mic'd up, so you might not be able to hear him. Okay, so we've got the sauce on the pizza. Now the pork that we're going to use, Rich is Mr. Meat. He smokes meat. We make our own bacon, all that. But we didn't want to go through that today, and we wanted to put a shout out to a friend of ours, Jeff Ebot with Hesher Barbecue. Which Hesher Barbecue is rock and roll barbecue with a Texas twist. You can find him at HesherBarbecue.com. And we'll have information on at the end of the podcast too. So then we're going to put on, this is a barbecue pork. And so we're really big about a hot and cold component on our pizzas. And because this is dairy free, we don't have to put here. It has so many ingredients, it's so flavorful, you really like it. Once this go in the oven, the crust will cook, the sauce will heat up. And then when it comes out, we're going to be putting coleslaw and whipped cold. And it's going to be amazingly delicious. I'm going to get this in the oven. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back shortly. We're going to eat some delicious barbecue pizza.
Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab will return after a word from our sponsors and partners. Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab is brought to you by Victoria's Gluten Free Kitchen, makers of award-winning pizza crust, breads, buns, ready-to-bake pizzas, and garlic breads, sold in retailers and served in fine restaurants all along the Front Range. Visit our website at victoriasglutenfreekitchen.com to find a retailer or restaurant partner near you or to order our products online. Victoria's Gluten Free Kitchen, free of gluten, intolerant of average. Nothing goes better with pizza than beer, and Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab proudly serves beers provided by Colorado's only dedicated gluten-free brewer, Holiday Brewing. Visit their tap house in Golden or find a retailer or restaurant near you by visiting their website, holidaybrewing.com. The right knife does make a difference. All demonstrations and product preparation for Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab is done with knives provided by Element Knife Company. Find the right knife for you by visiting elementknife.com. Victoria's Gluten Free Kitchen products are made with only the finest of ingredients, including locally made Colorado Mills sunflower oil, delivered directly to our kitchen by Healthy Harvest. Check them both out at comills.com and healthyharvestnongmo.com. And now let's return for more of Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab.
Hello, and we're back, and we have pizza. So our barbecue pizza has been cooked. We got a nice toasty brown golden color, and now we're going to top it with our cold components. One of the components we're going to use is dill pickles. It's going to add a nice bite to the pizza. But we could put them on, you know, as the size that they are in their little circles, whatever you want to call those. But we're going to slice them. And I'm using, one of our partners is Element Knife. And this is an amazing knife from Elin Wenzel with Element Knife that he's allowed us to use. I'm so excited because it is an amazing sharp knife. So I'm just going to cut this into julienne, because I want it to be small pieces, because when you take a bite of the pizza, I don't want the first thing that you taste to be the dill pickle. I want it to have the flavor, have a hint of it, but not be really, really strong. So that's why we're going to cut it up small. And I'm going to stack these up, slice them. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why is that woman putting coleslaw on a pizza? You know, that's a valid question. I will agree with that. Like I said, we're not very conventional. And if you were going to have a pulled pork sandwich, you most likely are going to have some coleslaw on it. So with a pulled pork pizza, why not have coleslaw? And it's the juxtaposition between the cold and the hot components, which is going to make this eat just like a pulled pork sandwich. Okay, so we have our coleslaw on here. And now I'm going to put our pickles. If you hear whining in the background, it's not all of us waiting for pizza. It's my dog. Just wanna. He's part of the show, but you never see him. You just hear him sometimes. Hopefully, you don't hear him. Okay, so now we have our finished pizza, and now I'm going to cut it. I prefer to cut with a big knife so that none of the ingredients move. With a pizza cutter, it tends to move a lot of the ingredients around and makes for messy slices. So I'm going to cut this in eighths. Okay. Plates. One slice or two?
I'll start with one.
Okay.
I'll probably have to.
Yeah, we're probably, that's usually
Let's not joke.
Okay, so there's your slice. And so again, this is a dairy-free pizza too. We are not going to miss the cheese. There's so much good on here. I don't see how you could actually need cheese. Okay, Rich, I'll give that to you. Okay, so I'm going to move over here. We're going to have some pizza. Okay.
So which beer do you think we should do?
Oh, yeah, we have to have beer with the pizza. Rich suggested that we go with Fat Randy's because it's a little bit heavier. Okay. And I'm actually going to try each. The favorite blonde will pair with just about anything. So I'm
the favorite blonde is like always my favorite.
Yeah, so it's always your favorite? Yeah. So we're going to try Fat Randy first. And Randy is not fat, by the way.
The real Randy. Him?
No, I have not met him, but I've heard the story. He's not actually fat.
Oh.
That's interesting.
I love this.
Oh, that's got a floral component when you smell it. Oh, that tastes good. Ooh.
So my husband doesn't like IPAs, and we were at the stock show, and he tried this one, and he was like, "I love IPAs now."
I never liked beer until I had to go gluten free, and I tried this beer. So I mean, I would never really. I hated beer.
Oh my god!
There's something about Holiday Lee's beers that's amazing. So this
pizza, oh my gosh.
It's a pulled pork sandwich on
This
pizza.
is better than a pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, thank you.
The barbecue sauce
is the bomb.
He made it?
Yep, from scratch.
Now do you share that recipe?
Yeah, it'll be on the website.
It will be on the website.
And it is so tangy, and it's a little sweet, it's a little salty.
I'm like obsessed with the dill pickles. Dill pickles are my like obsession. So you got that like perfect.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't even know that.
And the dill pickles add that extra bite to it. The coleslaw gives a creaminess. The coleslaw is a little savory and sweet at the same time. So you're getting all this kind of savory, sweet, all in one bite. Oh my god, it's so good. The dill pickle actually makes it. It pulls everything together.
I love that it's as messy as like barbecue.
That's like part of it. Because I do all this.
I already am.
No, it isn't too messy because it's a pizza. So
I just love it. It's delicious. I'm like gonna have to make this. People are gonna be jealous. My husband's gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?" I told him you were doing this. He's like, "That sounds wonderful."
And the coleslaw is made from scratch too, and that recipe will be on the website.
So all this will be on. Okay.
We realized that as I write these recipes and I put them up, I realized that these are not easy recipes. They're very complicated, but at the same time, they're really wonderful, and it's a good opportunity to, if you're not as good a cook as you want to be, is to dig into these recipes, take the time, learn them, mess them up, because the only way that you learn how to cook is to fail.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't tell you how many times I failed in cooking. I've been cooking since I was 9, and I've made some really crappy stuff.
Oh, me too.
Definitely.
Me too. Now it's nice to sit back and be like, oh my gosh, you're such a good cook.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while I mess up still, but I usually can save it. Would you like it? Wow. 2 pieces.
It is really good.
It is really good. Okay. Here, I can't stretch it. There we go. Would you like another piece?
I'm going to probably just give me another one.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, sorry. Dead air as we're moving pizza around.
So I just want to say, before I even had met you or known about your pizza, we had gone to a couple places, and I literally was obsessed with the crust. I was like, I just want to eat this all the time.
Aww.
And so, just sitting here, and then this pizza, it almost made me cry, because gluten-free pizza is gross sometimes.
Most of the time, that's why we exist, because
there's no fluffiness to it. It's just so good, and the flavor is so good. And so just being able to sit here with you and offer this to my children, it just makes me so happy.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That is so wonderful to hear. And it's funny that when we test anything that we make, the barometer is if I can't stop eating it, then we're done. We're done. Yeah. And we made a little adjustment to our pizza recipe yesterday to make it even fluffier.
Oh my gosh.
And Rich hands me a piece of pizza and I eat it, and he hands me another one. It's just a crust. And it was par baked. It wasn't even fully baked, and I'm like, I couldn't stop eating it. And so I'm like, okay, we're good. So yeah, so we're gonna get even a little bit fluffier.
Oh, I can't wait. I just love, my kids had always had a flat crust, so I've never even seen a fluffy crust. And now more are coming out, but we're pretty partial to you.
There's not too many out there that actually have any depth to them.
No.
Especially the cauliflower crusts are pretty flat.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know any that are not flat.
No.
But, that are flat. That are not flat.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about your blogging career, where you started from. Some of the things that you've encountered along the way. What's good, what's bad, where you're going to go with it, what you love about it, things like that.
So we kind of touched, I started just so I could have an outlet. It's just been an amazing experience. The connections that I've gained, the knowledge, even though I've been gluten-free for so long and I've lived that life with my mom for over 20 years now, you just learn so much more. Mm-hmm. And just getting everybody else's input and stuff. And it's been a fun adventure. There's so much good in it. There's also, there's definitely bad. People are people. So, I get a negative comment and I'm like, oh my gosh. I posted something one time and somebody made, one person out of 200 said something nasty. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to quit.
Isn't it funny how, and I get this too, it's I'm so reluctant, in the beginning I was so reluctant to post anything. I wanted to make sure I was perfect, that nobody could say I got anything wrong, because you feel like you're so judged. And it's you can have 200 positive comments and you have one negative, and what do you pay attention to?
Yeah.
The negative one. I don't understand why humans.
I was going to delete the post. I was like, I'm deleting the post, my Instagram, and we're never doing this again.
Isn't that terrible? That one person can have that.
And you want to know what? That one person still follows me. And they always they just comment.
So I don't
even know if it's they're a nasty person or they're just they just don't know how to talk to people.
They just see the world a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But then I remind myself that if you don't have haters, then you're not being authentic.
Absolutely.
So I gotta keep telling myself that. It's okay, come on, somebody hate me, then I'll know that I'm doing a good job.
Right.
And so in the world of blogging, there's a lot of people out there talking about gluten-free, how to live, giving their advice. The majority of them are doing it because they love to do it. And I understand at some point, if you're doing all this blogging, you've got to be compensated on some level. And then there's AdSense, there's things that you can do behind the scenes. But one of the things that I've seen a lot of controversy about is affiliate. Taking money from companies to promote their products. And I know as a consumer, when I see that, I get a little nervous, because it's okay, whose opinion is this? Mm-hmm. And I get that, you can pick and choose your favorite products, but I've seen that that's not necessarily the case with some bloggers. I'm like, there's no way you like this product. There's just no way. You might, but I'm really highly suspect of this. And then I think we were talking about Gluten Dude over the break. He's a very influential blogger has celiac disease, and not many men. I mean, it does affect men, but you almost 90%
it's funny
of the bloggers are women.
All of the men in my family are the ones that have it, and so we hear like women are the ones affected. I'm like, well,
that's weird. You have an opposite family.
We have an opposite.
And he's very against affiliate, marketing in that way because it's not. It's not genuine. But again, you have to make money, and you're at that point. So how do you decide how you're going to make your choices? If somebody say, hey, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars if you do, 3 posts and whatever for me.
So I have people reach out to me, and I've never tried their stuff before, and they always ask, like, can I send you some stuff and you can try it? If you like it, post it. If you don't. So I get good and bad. Recently I just got something that I didn't like, and I was like, oh, like, what do I do? Because it was actually the first time, because I'm very, I already know what I don't like, but now there's a lot of new companies coming out, and so it's kind of stressful. And so with that type of thing, I'm only going to post good.
Right.
I'm not going to share with you if I actually don't honestly like it. If I think it's garbage, I'm not going to put it on my Instagram. I'm not going to,
I tried this, it sucks. Don't try it. Yeah.
And, I don't like to, somebody asked me, why don't you tell people that it's gross? It's I'm not trying to hurt a company. I'm not trying to, be negative. I want to show the positive.
Right.
And, obviously, if I'm not sharing a company,
then you
don't
like
even go eat it.
And food is very, individual and personal
totally.
Too. So you may not like something, and I may think it's the greatest thing in the world. So to come out and say something derogatory about a product really isn't fair.
No.
And everybody can come to their own opinion. And equally, to come out and say something positive about a company that you don't like their product just because they're paying you, there's little ethical things in that as well. And so if somebody wanted to pay you, you would really have to use that product for you to agree to that.
So really now a lot of companies are reaching out to me, and they're offering to pay me for some posts, which at first I was I don't, who am I? I don't deserve to be paid for a post. But it's you know what? I put a lot of time and energy into this. And so I've had a couple companies, one of them I did have to turn down because it was I don't like your stuff, so I'm not going to take money from you and post something because I just want to be authentic.
Right.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is if I think, if I'm not in love with something, I don't want it on my Instagram.
Right, you don't want it on your feed.
No, I don't want people to taste it and then think of me and be like, ew, she likes
She said this was good. What the hell is wrong with her?
Likes cardboard? So.
Well, then I think it would come out, I would guess that if you tried to sit down and write a post about a product you didn't like, you could read between the lines of that post and go, oh, she hates that stuff.
Well, and that's what, I have to feel very passionate. I'm a passionate person. And so, I'm either passionate one way or the other. And so if I don't like something, I can't fake a post. I'm not going to be able to come up with I'm not going to be oh, this cardboard tastes so good. But it's easy to post good things. And so the companies that are reaching out to me right now, I try to kind of I really like to think is this for me? Is this something that I can actually even it's hard for me to just post crackers, even though a cracker is good. How do I post that? So is it going to stress me out, or is it going to bring me happiness? And is it I love looking at my feed, and I like seeing the beautifulness that's now come from it.
Right, and you don't want to be stressed out just to post a picture of a cracker.
No.
And the cracker world is in its own, I mean, the gluten-free cracker world, there's not a lot of good stuff. And it's either you got a mouthful of the seeds, or you get a cracker that falls apart. Or I have yet to find the best cracker.
We love the Miltons. Have you tried those?
Yeah, they have
dairy.
They have dairy in
them. Yes. You can't have them.
I like the Miltons, but I can't eat them. I've yet to find the best gluten and dairy-free cracker that isn't too crunchy. I do like the was it Crunchmaster?
Yeah.
But they're too sesame. It's I'm eating sesame for an hour afterward. They're too sesame.
I like those with hummus.
The what?
The Crunchmaster. Oh yeah,
and I do those with tuna.
That's good.
Have you tried the rosemary and olive oil? Those are much better than the ones with all the seeds. I have a thing with seeds.
I do too.
But sesame seeds the only thing I can handle. But any other seeds I have a problem with. But they're my go-to one. But I'd like more options. For me, some of the crackers they just fall apart. I saw them in a Walmart in Iowa for the first time in not Iowa. It was in North Platte, Nebraska. and it's Lance, because I grew up in Florida, and Lance was a big brand that was on the East Coast, and I loved their crackers, and they had these little Captain's wafers that you get at restaurants. Oh my God, they were so good. And so there was a box of them. They don't think they were like Captain's wafers, and they didn't have any dairy in them, and I was so excited. And I opened up the bag, and 90% of them are in thirds or 16ths.
It's like so fluffed up, and there's nothing inside of it.
Yeah, and they broke, and then if you try to put something on the cracker, it cracks, and it's like, I don't know, maybe I should try to work on some crackers, because I'm not finding
you could probably do it. Yeah. Like, you could kill it in the cracker
world.
And
then and I can say this because they're a big company, because I don't mind dissing a big company too much, but the Blue Diamond ones used to be my go-to, the smokehouse.
Oh, yeah.
But if you eat those without anything on them,
they're gross.
They're not that
I've never liked I
only like the smokehouse.
I don't like any other smokehouse. I like the cheddar ones.
Oh, I can't do the cheddar.
Yeah, obviously. I just like all the cheese.
They're probably good because you've got the cheddar in there to make them flavor. When you don't have dairy or cheese or something in there, you're lacking in flavor.
Yeah.
Anyways, but we just got off on this cracker tangent here. But so, do you see yourself as this being an income source for you for blogging, and so you're going to have to start making more of these decisions as you move forward? Because otherwise, I mean, it's a hobby, but it sounds like you want it to be more of a business.
Well, it started as a hobby, and then all of a sudden, like now, like I didn't even have intentions of it turning into a business, and now that it has, I've really got to sit back and think about it. And I'm actually talking to a couple of my other like blogger friends about it, and like, what do we do? Because like we're worth it, but at the same time, like I don't want to sell myself short. So, like, honestly, I'll never post something I don't like. I'm not going to say something's good. And if it is something that I'm paid for, it'll say, like, ad or sponsored. You do, like, I will always put that on there. But, like, I have one coming up here. It's not something that I wouldn't eat, that we already don't eat. Like, if you go back and look at my feed, I've already eaten it. And I've already like posted about it for free. So like I'm like really in love with the product.
And now this company's going to pay you to
and now the company like
sees
how passionate I am about it, and they're like, okay, like we want to pay you, and you're worth it. So I mean, there's definitely some people bother me where they're like, I mean, everything's an ad, and it's like, okay, well, like, do you even like this? Like you said, like. Yeah. I don't think like that's what you really like to eat.
No,
but
I'm going to come to your house right now, and I bet there's none of this product in your house at all. So there's got to be other ways to make money blogging, I would guess. I know everybody, you think affiliate first, but then there's you could do classes, you could do cookbooks. You ever think about doing a cookbook?
I actually talked to my husband about that the other day because somebody brought that up to me. They were looking at my website and they said, why don't you make a cookbook? And I was like, okay, like everybody makes cookbooks, but it's like, you know what? My husband's like, that's an easy thing to make. Or somebody also asked me, oh, you should make a Gluten Free Mom Colorado shirt. And I was like, nobody wants that. But then my husband's like, that's also like an easy.
Yeah, and there's going to be people that
and
want
people are all about that. Like,
you need some swag for sure. Yeah.
So there's definitely different ways. Even like right now, just using like a certain brand of eggs or something. I haven't run into that yet, but there's like egg companies will sponsor you to put that,
Right.
You just get different stuff like that. And so there's definitely, and eggs are eggs. Like,
I know, it's like.
There's good eggs. I mean, there's really good eggs.
And bad eggs. But the cookbook's a really good idea. And I think you said everybody's doing a cookbook, but everybody's not you.
Right.
And you're going to have a different, I mean, you're putting all these recipes up. So basically, and people are loving your recipes, so you're kind of compiling them, and you have a different, spin on the same recipe. We all do. I mean, I make pizza different than somebody else makes pizza than somebody else will make pizza, and you just find your niche and you find your angle, and what makes you unique. And I mean, for you, the perspective of being a mom and cooking for your kids, that's your number one concern, and so that's your entire menu is surrounded by that, and so that would be a really amazing book, especially for the new mom who finds out their child has celiac. It's like, okay, I'm going to grab Gluten Free Mom's book, and it's not just a cookbook, but a guidebook,
totally, to
help them get through, because you went through it all. You can teach other people how to do that. So I can see that's a major.
I mean, there's definitely so many opportunities. But I'm just trying to stay authentic. I mean, like with our relationship, like I was like, I love your pizza. Like I want to work with you. So like, that's just like where I'm at. And I just try to find things that make me happy and things that I can actually like sit down and like easily, because I'm not trying to spend an hour trying to write up a post.
Right.
Like I have 3 little children and a husband.
You don't have time for that.
So
for sure.
Like I just, like if something brings me passion, then a post is super easy and I can, whip it up in like 10 seconds.
and take the picture. And your
take
pictures
a picture. My pictures
take
forever. Oh my gosh.
That is photography. We do our own photography, and it's like, oh my God, the lighting.
And then I asked my husband, I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, well, I like this one. I'm like, well, I hated that one, so I don't know why I picked that one.
So maybe you shouldn't ask him anymore.
Right. I'm like, I don't. I actually sent it to my other friend who is a photographer, and she's like, she always picks the one I would have chose. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's
he's
good.
An idiot. He just doesn't even.
Yeah, the pictures are tough, and we here in the kitchen we don't have a lot of natural light, so then I'm lighting stuff, and that's probably the hardest part of all that is the photography. But to hire a photographer and not to, I mean, they're worth every penny, but if you don't have all those pennies, then it's especially when you're blogging, you can't call her, hey, I'm ready, it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, and I'll have another one tomorrow.
Like, I feel like doing the blogging, like, I need to take my own pictures. Somebody said, oh, you can hire a photographer. I'm like, well, then what am I doing? Like,
right. No, the picture is part of it. It really is. It's like your interpretation of your dish, and I think that the blogger photography there's a high bar. I mean, there's some beautiful photos.
Well, I sit and I like stalk other people's things, and I like look at them, and I like there's like food photography pages that I sit and look at, and I'm trying to like copy it a little bit. Like, it's obviously my stuff, but I'm like, okay, like, how do I make this better? Because I mean, you saw the beginning of me. It was embarrassing. I'm like going back.
You gotta start somewhere.
I know. But I'm going back now and I'm redoing all of my recipes and all of my pictures because it's like I am like so like I've grown so much, and it's not even been a year, so I'm like so excited to see what comes because I did not expect this. Like, when I did this, like, it was last November, so I mean, it's been 11 months now.
Oh my God, has it been that long? I feel
I know.
This year just went by so crazy fast. And yeah, you should be very, very proud of what you've achieved in such a short period of time, and the followers that you have. And I mean, and being authentic is so important. And I'm sure your followers just love you for that. And they're always looking for what she's going to post next. And that's always good that you have them like on the edge of their seats. And you're probably providing really good information as well. So. And so, yeah, it's a great resource, and you're enjoying it. And so that's going to come out in your posts. And so that's really cool. I'm looking forward to your new logo.
I'm so excited.
Karen is very excited.
She's so sweet. It was so
Karen,
cute.
I told you I'd mention you. Karen Savory, a.k.a. Fluffy, is doing Liz's new logo.
She was just the sweetest. I mean, she was like, let's meet. And I was like, this is great. Like, I talked to a couple other people, and they were like texting me and talking to me on the phone. And I was like, I want a face to face. Like, I want to see if I like you. Right.
And the logo's a personal, I mean, it's
so, and I don't know what I want. Like, I need somebody, like, I have an idea in my head, but I have no idea what I want. And so I just want to, like, I was like, I want to, like, look at you and be able to tell you what I want, and for you to make that happen. And with her, I just got that feeling. I'm like, she can do this for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't wait.
She's like, she can help me with my website, and I mean, I know nothing. Like, I was telling you on the break, I don't even use a computer half the time. So like, going and fixing up a website, I was like, this is like way out of my comfort zone. And so
you're gonna have to get on a computer if you're gonna.
I do now.
I mean, you could.
I tried to do it on it doesn't work. It's so stressful. So I have started using the computer.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited to work with her and develop that relationship with her. And I mean, it's just she's so sweet. So
she is.
But I love that she knows you. It just shows, I mean, this whole community is just
wonderful. Everybody's wonderful. So what is the thing that you're looking forward to the most as you move through, the next year or so with your blog, with your family? What do you have you looking forward to?
Oh my gosh, everything is so good right now. We just bought our first house, so that's like super exciting. My husband's company is doing great. Our kids are so good. My husband's wonderful, and he lets me, like, I put a lot of money into this, and sometimes I'm like, what are you doing letting me do this? Like, I have so many little plates so I can like take a picture, and he just supports me in it. And so I'm just like super excited. Like, it makes me so happy when like I look and I'm like, I just gained 10 followers. Like, that just like brings me so much joy, because it just like solidifies in my head like I'm doing something that matters. And so I'm just like, I don't know, there's just so much, like, I can't wait to I'm building my recipes, like, I want to expand my website. Like, the logo is super exciting to me, because I feel like that's just like that's going to
open up a lot. Yeah. It's going to give you probably some legitimacy that you feel like you might want or don't have right now.
Absolutely.
And so, it's going to change a lot.
No, there's just so much good coming.
Well, I'm excited to watch where you're going to go, and I'm going to be there every step of the way.
It's been so
liking
good.
Your posts.
I'm going to eat more pizza, obviously.
Yeah. Well, if you need any pizza, we'll get it for you for sure.
Right.
You'll keep your freezer stocked with pizza for sure.
I told you, like my husband is obsessed with it. Like we have friends that are not gluten free, and they tried it at the Nourish Festival when they came with us, and she ended up buying like 3 loaves from you.
Oh, cool.
I was like, wow.
I like it. Well, thank you so much for being on. This has been lots of fun. Your pizza was amazing. Your pizza will go on the website.
Your pizza was amazing. I didn't make it.
It's your pizza now because your name is going to be attached to it on the website.
I'm going to make this. Oh my gosh, my family's going to love it.
We'll get this up by Monday.
Perfect.
And then, it's wonderful.
I'm so excited.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. This has been so much fun, you guys.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Victoria's Gluten Free Gastro Gab. Be sure to visit our website at victoriasglutenfreekitchen.com for recipes from today's show and to check out previous episodes. You can also find links to our partner pages or find a retailer or restaurant near you that serves Victoria's Gluten Free Kitchen products. Thanks for your continued support.